There we go. Okay. Got doing things, and it just turned out that wasn't here on time. So I'm about 15 minutes late. So thanks for hanging in there for me. Appreciate it very much. Yeah. So pretty much pretty easy show today. Just going to do the questions, pretty much, and see where that goes. So without further ado. Thanks. Hi, Jim. On your software, what do you use for potential stocks? Well, I actually use a product called MarketSmith, and I'll actually show you that on the screen. Unfortunately, they don't pay me anything, but this is the product. It's by Investor Business Daily. It's a little pricey, but it does have pattern recognition, so that's really great. So that's kind of my shameless plug for MarketSmith. So that's basically. That's basically what I use. All right. So thanks, ESP. Hi, Jim. What's your sell profit strategy? Do you sell profit when the profit is 5 cents or simple increasing stop loss? Well, it just depends. That's a very good question. Thank you for that answer. And thank you for that question. Just kind of show you sort of what I do. I like to use the stop loss method. And the reason I do like to use that so much is because that method allows me to it's sort of a hands-off approach. Hold on one second. I need to do something. Thanks so much. Had to adjust the lighting there. It was not good. So I adjusted the lighting there a little bit. Thank you for holding on. So I use a profit. The strategy I use is basically pushing up the stop loss. The reason I do that is partially, it's not necessarily the most elegant, but the reason I like to do it is that way I don't miss out when I'm doing something else, because during the day I'm kind of busy. So on the small portfolio, what I do is over here I show kind of the stop losses where I'm at, and that's where it's set. And then I have another column here that says 2.5% stop loss. This kind of gives me an idea of where it would be at 2.5%. Do I always use the stop loss at 2.5%? No, because sometimes when I'm going into when I'm going into a position, I come in and I set usually a 7% stop loss, because I just don't know how it's going to trade. If it starts to trade up, then I move the stop loss up. But that is a great question. And, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it as automatic as possible. I'm trying to, allow it to just work pretty simply. So that's kind of how I do it. But that's a very, very good question. I like the 2.5% stop loss if we are below a buy point. And the reason I do is because typically below the buy point, before it gets that support, and a lot of times that's the best time to come into a stock, but it's more dangerous because it tends to pull back more. So as it crosses over a buy point, I will typically set it up to where the buy point is, and then I will hold it at that buy point as it goes higher, giving me a little bit of more room. But if I'm starting out below the buy point, I usually set it at about 2.5% below where I bought it. And it just depends on the market and how volatile the stock is. If it's more volatile, I'm going to set it wider. Also, if the stock is less expensive, I'm going to be setting it. I'm going to be setting it wider too. It's just it's just how you want to be able to do it. But that is a great question. That is a great question. I appreciate that. Yes, B. So here we go. Apple is not showing any strength. Yeah, you know what, Mr. Sid, you are right. I was getting all ready to go into Apple, and then it just kind of didn't do anything for a while. I'm trying to find another entry point. It's pulled back a little bit. It's at 122.05. I still think it's still in the buy zone. So it's still in a good position, relatively speaking, on the daily chart. But we definitely have this weakness here. So it's just the kind of thing where I'm hoping that probably by Monday or Tuesday, I think we're going to get an upward motion. It's always a good idea to buy as it's moving higher. Let's just look at the weekly chart. I mean, the weekly chart is still very good. This one is going to be a slower stock. I mean, it's a big cap, it's a mega cap actually stock. So it's the kind of thing that it's going to be a little bit slower going forward. So we have to, maybe a little bit more patience. I don't know. I don't know about this one. So, but I will probably buying it on Monday. I didn't buy it yesterday precisely because of this, because it didn't show that motion up. I typically only like to buy when it's moving higher. So that's a great question. Restoration Hardware. This is a question here to take a look at Restoration Hardware from M. Milshish. I think that's correct. I don't know if I got the name right. I apologize if I got it wrong. Restoration Hardware has been doing very well as of late, and it seems to have pulled up once again. So let's see if there's any buy point here. First of all, let's take a look at the weekly. Always important to take a look at that weekly chart. The weekly chart is looking really, really good. I mean, it's up $6.56 today. Wow, I wish I had realized this. There are some little bit of things that I'm a little bit scared of. One of them is this earnings per share in 5 days. It's a little bit too early to buy this, but this is a beautiful run. It's just moving right up that 40-day line. So that is very, very bullish on this stock. So very, very bullish. It's pulled up today. Let's look at the kind of where it's at. We're going to be reporting earnings here in 5 days. So we should know about this quarter here. Nothing really to speak of. We did have some declining sales. It's a little bit worrisome. 99% of the owners of this are funds. So, we have really a strong ownership, and there are 603 of those funds in there. So it's very, very strong. So let's see. Let's look at the checklist. Well, it's 8 out of 9, so that's very good. Increasing fund ownership. Wow, it's in 197 interesting rank, so that's very good. With this kind of funds in it, this is mostly owned by funds. That is very good. The question is, where can we buy this thing? And it just looks very strong, very, very, very strong. Really, about the only place that I can see to buy this. This is the actual consolidation buy point. Stage 1 is at 410. It's at 469. Very, very far extended from that. There just really isn't a place to buy this right now. The only thing would be if it pulled back to the, it's moving right up that 10-day line. So the only place to buy it probably would be at the 21-day exponential, and that is currently at about 430. So this is a great stock. They're not really a good place to buy this, unfortunately. So I would have to watch this one, wait for it to base a little bit, and then we might have something there. But I just don't see it, unfortunately, right now. It's just it's a tough one to buy. Happy Friday to you, Kyle. I appreciate you watching the show, and thanks for waiting a little bit. I know it was a bit late today, so oh well. Let's look at EXPI. Let's see if we can find something there to buy. EXPI. And let's take a look. EXPI World Holdings. It's pulled back a bit today. About 56.60 is the price on it currently. Let's take a look at the weekly chart first. Always start with that weekly. Well, we do have a buy point on it. It's a second stage cup at 62.50, and it's at 56.36. So you could buy this a little bit below the a little bit below. It's got a 99 relative strength. I'm really liking that. It's got some very nice funds in here. Wow. Okay. Let's look at the checklist. Yeah, 8 out of 9. That is very good. The ownership is strong too. Yeah, we have increasing fund ownership. Yeah, this is buyable. Absolutely, this is buyable. Now, the proper buy point on this is going to be when it moves at or above 62.50. Okay, that's a second stage cup. So that's a very bullish pattern. Currently, it's at 56.75. It's up $2.80. You could do a pilot buy in here Definitely. This is definitely buyable. And look at these earnings. Now, let's just see. We just went through earnings. Yeah, they were excellent. Wow, this is a really good one. You know what? I'm going to put this down on my watch list because I do think that this one is very good. EXPI on this one. Wow, very, very good. It is viable right now at these levels. It is absolutely viable at these levels. I wouldn't go in with a full position, though. I'd go in with a half position. If it moves up to the buy point, double it to that full position. And I think you have a winner there. But this is a winner. This is a winner stock, and it definitely is setting up very, very nicely. And it looks like it possibly will go higher. The trend is definitely there, on this one. So interesting. Thank you for bringing this up. We have a nice trend. I think if it pulls above this buy point, which is right here, if it pulls above this buy point, I think what we have, it's going to even move higher. So this is, this one I would definitely consider. Thank you very much for this, Kyle. Very good stock. And I may be putting this on the watch list. This is a good one. Yeah, absolutely good one. Let's look at MVEE. NVEE, sorry. NVEE. See if it is equal to that. NVEE. And let's take a look. That's NVS Global. It is a professional and technical engineering consulting firm. It's off a little bit today. $74.60 is the price on that one currently. I don't like this one as much. It is definitely reversed to trend. It's definitely reversed the trend, but it is, it is just starting on that. So there was a downward trend. We reversed higher, and so this is normally very good off the pivot. So this is usually very good. So let's see what this pivot is. We have a pivot at pivot at about 61.39. 61.39. So if we were to buy it now, we would be a bit extended. It's a little above that. Earnings per share looked good. Let's give it the smell test to see kind of where we're at. Oh, 8 out of 9. Very good. We don't have any major funds in it yet. We have cash flow, though, and cash flow always cures problems. We do have a little bit of a reduced number of funds in it, only 223, and in June we had 238. So we are moving down a little bit on the number of funds. I like this one, but I don't like it enough to buy it. I would watch this one, see if it goes higher. I kind of want to see it move, in about the I'd like to see it move beyond about 81, and then I think we might have something there. But I would watch this one. I don't. I'm not as bullish on this one as on the last one, but it's quite good. I mean, it's got an excellent relative strength. But put this on the watch list. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see if it moves above about 81, and then you might have something there. Happy Friday, Jen. Thoughts on CIIC? Is that the next Tesla? Good question. CIIC merger. Okay, so this is a blank check company. Just don't know what this is going to be. These SPACs are hard for me to buy just because I just don't know kind of what the assets that they have currently are. It's got a 97 relative strength, which doesn't mean a lot for a SPAC because with a SPAC, it's obviously going to have an increase because people are putting money into it, but it already has 20 funds in it. That is interesting. And we have, it's already 45% subscribed by funds. This is real interesting. I would wait on this. And this is a watch list as well. This is a watch list as well. CIIG on a blank check company, but I just can't really give you too much more information on it, JV, just because I just don't have access to actually the particulars on the blank checks until they come out, and then once they do, then it's good. Okay, let's look at NIA. We have a question. This is a question coming from TikTok. This is Valentine Valentine Attila number 2, I guess it is. Okay, let's look at NEO, because I think everybody's pretty interested in this one. I know I am. NIO. This is kind of, everyone was talking about this as basically the Chinese Tesla. It's kind of been, there was a big sell-off on it. Yeah, it's selling off again today. So I'm currently not in this one. I was in this one earlier in the year as a small position in the small portfolio. It's a half position in the small portfolio, but this is pulled back. This looks like it's going to pull back to the 40-day line here. Just looking at it here, there's really not a place to buy this right now. Let's look at the daily chart to see if there's anything that can, it pulled right back up to the 21-day exponential here, and then it pulled right back down. So the trend has changed on this. The trend is down for NEO. You don't want to buy it right now. The trend, unfortunately, has reversed, and the question is, where will it reverse to? Will it bounce off the 40-day line? If it does, then we might be able to get back in it. But right now, that's showing that it is not a good time to buy this. It is not, because this line here, this blue line, this is the relative strength line against the S&P 500. It is pointing down. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be in it right now. It just doesn't look. Yeah, we have earnings. We're good. I mean, sales were good in the last 2 quarters, so that's okay. Let's look at checklist. Well, checklist is still good, 7 out of 9, so that's good. And funds, we do have funds coming in, so that there's 520 funds in this currently. Just not a good time to buy it. Let's see if it's going to bounce off the 40-day. Then we might have something. That's really the only place I can see to buy this. There isn't really a base pattern. So I think what's going to happen, and this is just based on looking at this chart, I think what's going to happen here is we're going to pull back to this level. We're going to pull back to this level right here, and that is it pulled back to this level right here. Currently, we're here, and we're going to probably pull down here. Now, I hope that there will be a bounce here. If there's a bounce, that's the optimum time to buy it. But basically, we got to wait this thing to pull back, and it's got to pull back to about 3450 in order to possibly bounce. Currently, it's at 4302, so 3303, and it's pulling down. So not the tactical time to buy it. It is viable stock. It's just not at the right level. I think we have to wait on this one until it bounces off that 40-day, and that 40-day currently is at 3432. So that's kind of where you want to be in it if you if you're looking to enter the stock. I'd take a wait see on this one just for right now on NEO, because it's just not looking right yet, and we'll know. I mean, it trades in sympathy with Tesla. Until Tesla moves above 600, I don't know if we want to be in NEO as well. Let's look at ZUO. And see, get an idea. That's cloud-based. It's cloud-based, a subscription company. It's essentially a penny stock. It's $11. Typically, anything below about $15, you got to be careful when you buy them, because they typically are more volatile due to the low price. We don't have, unfortunately. Let's look at the weekly. Start with the weekly on this one. Yeah, we have a downward trending chart. We just don't want to buy this one, unfortunately. Yeah, this is a downward trending chart, as you can see. Just drawing the trend line here. This is the first thing you always want to do. You want to come in and take a look, open the chart, and look at it, and then draw that trend line. And if it's going from, the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner, that indicates a downward trend, not where you want to be. So I would just, based on that, I would not buy this one, and it is pulling back too. But let's kind of confirm my suspicions. It's 5 out of 9, so it doesn't meet the smell test. Remember, the smell test is 6 out of 9 on the O'Neill checklist, so that's the minimum that I will consider. Also, another thing that we have here, and this is also very telling of the issue, It has it's a 16 relative strength rating. I typically am looking for 80, so that's the opposite of where I want to be. I want to be in the top 20% of all stocks relative strength. I just don't want to fool with the lower 4/5 of the market, because the winners are going to be in the top 20%. So that doesn't work for me either. So unfortunately, I have to give a thumbs down on that one. But I don't even think you should watch this. But sorry about that, JV. I'm not trying to rain on your parade here, but just this one is probably going to come to tears. Don't think you want to do it. There's a lot of better ones out there. This is a question from Jay here, from YouTube. So let's take a look. He's looking at Workhorse WKHS. Now this has been a phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal, issue. This has moved up more, probably. This has moved up like over 500% in 1 year. So this has just been phenomenal. The question is, can it continue? I'm taking a look over here at the weekly chart again to see, what the situation is with that. There was a buy point on a consolidation base. It's a first stage base at 22.90. It's currently at 22.07. So we are basically right at the buy point. We are right at the buy point on Workhorse. Now, would I buy it at this price? Well, no. And the reason why, and it's just tactical on this. I like this stock. I think it's got a lot going for it. Would I buy it? No, not at this moment. I would wait until we went into an uptick. Currently, we're on a downtick, and it's down $5.11, which is a lot, basically, which is a lot. Now, let's see if it pulls back up to that 40-day line, and that's almost, and it looks like it's going to, because that's 22.08, and we're at 22.07, so it's basically right at the 40-day line. The question is, how is it going to trade from now until the end of the day? Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Okay, we definitely had a volume spike here while the show is on, and let's just see if we could, if there's a way that we can tactically buy this thing. Let's look at the checklist. It's only 5 out of 9, so this is a little bit of concern for me. I'd like to 6 out of 9 or better. But we do have funds coming in it. Now, here's what I would do on this issue. I would wait until we had an uptick on this. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart here, and we just had a little bit of buying activity. Let's see if I can go to the 1-minute chart to see. Yeah, it seems to be moving higher, but there's been some sell bars. So, gosh, I want to see more confirmation on this one. I kind of want to watch this one and wait until Monday. That might be a mistake. I do think this is viable, but I don't want to buy it in a downtrend. I just don't, and that's kind of the way it is. Next question. Thank you so much, John. Thank you for dialing in on this. I'm glad you're watching. It's ALRM, and I've traded Alarmco. That's what this is. Yeah, there we go. Alarmco Holdings, and this one was a high flyer. It's right at a buy point, which is very cool. It's a stage 1 cup, 74.65. Let's see if we can buy this thing. 89 relative strength. I'm liking that. I am really liking that. I'm also liking the fact that we have nice sales growth. That's very good. We're up $5.38 today. Wow, Kazowie, that is good. What is going on here? It's a 100% checklist. The funds are in it. We've got some good funds in it too. Wow, Kazowie. This is a buy. Absolutely a buy. Now, would I want to buy it right at this level? I'd prefer if I could buy it at 74.65. It's 79.80. It's a little bit extended. Well, it's not that extended. Let's look at the daily chart. I think we're right above the buy zone. Oh my goodness, we are. We are so close. The buy range goes basically from 74.66 up to 78.05, and we're at 79.80. You could buy it at this point. Absolutely. The high is 79.38. We're very close to that. It's making a new high. So I think you've got a green light on this one. It's a little bit extended, but not much. There's a buy point at 74.65 on a cup basis, so that is very good. This one's probably going higher. This one's probably going higher. Let's see if let's see if we can anticipate, a potential move on this one. Let's see. Okay, so really, to get the correct trend line, we have to go from here and sort of extrapolate here. So we're looking essentially at a trend, a channel. If it continues up, this could move up to about the $86 level before pulling back. So I think there's probably at least on this move, there's probably at least $8 or $9 worth of upward move on this one if you bought it right now. So you could buy this one right now. Now come back to me but this is a good swing trade. This is a good swing trade. So here's what I would do on this one. Alarm, ARLM. Here's how I would trade this one. Go into the stock at this price. Set your stop loss at 2.5% below the buy point, which is 74.66. So 2% of that would be about $72. So set your stop loss about $72 on that if you were going in now, and then see what happens in about a week or so. It should move up to about the $86 level before it reverses lower based on the channel. Now, of course, is that 100%? No. If it was, I would be a gazillionaire. But that's how I would play it. You can definitely buy it now. It's just a tad extended. Put that stop loss 2.5% below the buy point, and the buy point, of course, on this one is 74.66. So 2.5% below that, or just to get that number, you just multiply 74.66 times 0.972, and that's going to give you approximately where you want to put that stop loss. Let it ride up, and then I would start. If it moves up, I would move that stop loss up with it until it fails, and I think it probably will fail at about 86. It'll probably pull back about that point and trade up that far. You could probably make at least a 3 to 4% move on that probably in about a month, I figure. So that is very good. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that. That's another good one. I get some of these great ideas from everybody here on on the chat. So I appreciate that a lot. That is great. That is great news. All right, so let's take a look on the crowd. This is what I have. So I kind of am moving to this question because I definitely have this in the small portfolio, and this is Crowdstrike, CRWD. It's currently traded up a little bit today, about $16. Is that true? Did I put that in the small? Yes, I did. Very nice. But I'm only up 2%, unfortunately. I wish I had been in there a little bit early, but I have it in the small portfolio currently, and I do think it can move higher. See, I'm in there. Not a lot of profit on there. I only have 5 shares. This is a really small portfolio, but we're at 167.23, so that's looking pretty darn good. Can it go higher? You betcha it can. I think it can go a lot higher. Let's kind of draw some channel lines here, and I do this just to kind of get an idea of sort of what we're talking about here. This is the trend that we're looking at, and the question is, where is the base on? Where's the channel? And I think the channel is right about there. So the way a stock typically will trade is that when it pulls up, it will move up and then until it gets resistance, and it typically gets resistance basically as it's moving up into this channel. And I do believe the channel potentially is high as golly, could that be right? This channel could easily be 180 or 200, very, very easily. Very, very easily this could be. So let's see if I can just kind of look at this and anticipate. Yeah, definitely. We could easily be at 180 on this one. We could easily be on this on 180 on this one in about 3 or 4 weeks. So I definitely like this a lot, Ollie. Unfortunately, we've moved out. I had to buy it quickly when it gapped up. Look at that. It gapped up. It pulled back. It gave another opportunity, and then gapped up again. So this is going to move very, very nicely. This is going to move very, very nicely, as you can see. I've shifted to the daily chart. We have a buy point on it. Basically, the pivot is 153.90. We're at 166.94. So we're up off that pivot. We're out of the buy zone, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we're out of the buy zone. So you can't really add to the position here. But if there's a little bit of pullback, you want to buy this thing. I think this is doing very well, and it probably will go higher. So Crowdstrike, very, very good one there. Thank you for that very, very much. Let's see. I'm from TikTok. What was the previous ticker mentioned? Okay, let's see. Can you look at, okay, unfortunately, I can't bring up the Canadian stocks. I don't have access to the Toronto Exchange, unfortunately. Should I put my $800 into crypto right now? Okay. Well, if you do put your $800 into crypto, there is a way that's safe, I believe, safer to do that. And that is, there is what they call the GBTC. This is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So they control about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So I'm pulling up the chart right now. I'm going to show you the weekly chart first, and let's take a look at that. Yeah, it is pulled up nicely today. It's up $4, 23.20. I do think that there's going to be some very strong interest in crypto, even more than there is now. That's what I'm trying to say. And Bitcoin Trust is a good way to play it because it's easy to get in and out of the bid ask. There's not the problem with the bid ask. Can we be in this? The last buy point on this was at 14.78. Now I had this in my account and it pulled back and I got sold out, but I made a profit on this one. I will probably be getting back into it. I think this is a really good one. As you can see, I'm pulling up the small portfolio now. And last month I was in this one. No, I'm sorry, I lost $3.84. So can't win them all. But I still am very bullish on the Bitcoin Trust. The question is, where can you buy it? Now, because this is an ETF, not all the rules apply that you would normally have on a stock. It seems like it pulled back a little bit. It's pulling up. It seems to be right at this at the 10-day line. The question is, where can you buy it? I would try to buy this one at about 22.17, and we're very close to that. We're at 23.20. I definitely think you could buy it at that level. Wait until Monday. Let's see what's happening. If you put $800 in there, you would have a lot of this. And here's the thing: I wouldn't put all my $800 in this. If you have a very small amount of money, like $800 to invest, you want to do position trading. And because that's so small, you want to do basically 4 positions. Just think of a pizza pie, but instead of having 8 pieces, you only have 4 slices on this one. It's sort of a mini pizza. So what you want to do is you want to take $200 of that $800 and buy some Bitcoin Trust. And that's going to be, at about the 20. So you're going to have about 9 shares of that. So that would be probably a very good first buy if you're looking for crypto. I appreciate the question. I do think this is going higher, and I think that you could move into some very nice stocks even with just $800. It doesn't matter if you have 1 share or you have 500 shares. What matters is how much of a gain that you get on it. So if you do position trading, you can get into positions. If you have $800, you essentially have 4 positions that you can trade. So you can trade stocks up to $200 by buying 1 share. If, for instance, it's 100, 2 shares. If it's 50, 4 shares, and so forth. Now, because Greystone Bitcoin Trust is currently 23.20, you could possibly get as many as 9 shares. That's a way to trade it if you have a very small amount of money you want to start out. And that would be a great way to go. So let's, without further ado, let's take another question from YouTube. Okay, thoughts on ATVI. Thank you for holding on. That's ATVI. And let's take a quick look. That's Activision Blizzard. Activision, great games company, probably coming into their strongest season too, because of course it's Christmas time. Let's start with the weekly chart to see kind of what, how it's doing. Very well. Okay, it's trending a little bit lower, but it's in a consolidation. Interesting. Okay, there's several things that are a little bit worrisome here. It's only got a relative strength of 65. It does have increasing sales, though. I like that. It has a tremendous number of very big funds in it, and they are increasing, so that's good. It's 57% owned by funds. That's good. It has real cash flow. It actually makes money. That's good. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is 7 out of 9, so that's very good. The question is, what is the percentage held? Okay, so we have funds. We do have some banks that own this. Interesting. And we have Fidelity Contract Fund. You know what? I like this one, even though it has that low relative strength at 65. Where could you buy that? This is the question. I wouldn't go. It's pulled right above the 40-day line, so that is very bullish. You know what? Did it break trend? Let's see if it breaks trend. You know what? This is actually excellent place to buy it. Excellent place to buy it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It just broke trend, folks. And that is a very, very good thing. ATVI, Activision. Well, it just broke trend. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you have a downward trend like this, and then it breaks the trend, and it definitely broke the trend because it pulled, as you can see, the price is pulled above the 40-day line, okay? That's bouncing off that 40-day line, and there's some strong buying, and it's up $2 today. So at 80, you could absolutely buy this thing right now. Absolutely buy this thing right now. I like this. I'm going to set an alert on this one for myself to see if it goes above this. And I do think, I want to see if it goes above 82.24. So that's kind of where I'm interested at it. 82.24. Wow, interesting. 82.24. So let's set that alert for Activision. This is absolutely viable right now, and very, very good choice for that. I think I definitely probably want to put this on the watch. I've been watching this one, but it's very good. Thanks, Go Tigers. Robert, Fastly is Fastly by. Well, Fastly, was great. I was in Fastly. It went through earnings, and I held it through earnings, which is what you have to do to make the big money. But it's always a good idea to sell before earnings. You don't make the big money that way, but it's very good. Is it coming back? Well, let's see. Fastly was just an absolute rocket ship. It looks like it's regained footing. What they did is they reported, and it was really weird too, because they reported numbers right before the close, and it was terrible. It just went off the cliff. And I just kind of want to show you the chart where it sort of went. It went from this is where Fastly went, and absolutely went down like a stone. Okay, but now it's hit that 40 line. 40. It's hit the 40, so that's good. It looks like it may have retaken an upward trend. That's good. See, this is the trend that you're looking for. So that's good. And it looks like it has pulled up. Let's look at the volume. Nice volume. Yeah, very good volume on that. 97 relative strength. Once burned, can we go back in? The buy point really on this still is way up here at the buy point on this really still is 114. It's at 88, so we're well below the buy point. We're off of the 40. We're off of the 40-day. We've got an ascending. Okay, Yeah, I think that you might. I wouldn't go in with a full position on this one. This could be very tricky. We do have increasing fund ownership. We're still in a loss position. Let's look to see what the checklist says. 6 out of 9, so that's my minimum. That it meets the smell test. Okay, it's got an increasing fund ownership. Let's look at the rank, 42 out of 197. So that is looking very good. You can, here's the thing. You can go in this with a pilot position. I wouldn't go with any more than a half position on this one, and possibly a quarter position on this one. But if it shows strength, then I think you can build a position in this one once again. So, it's going to be tough, but because it took such a dump on Fastly, but Fastly might be back. I mean, Fastly might be back. Some of these software companies are just going to do well. They're going to be one of the few areas that's going to do well into the into the new year, because what's coming, everybody, is that we are going to have a very big situation with many of the physical retailers, because it just not when the company reopens, the country reopens, it's just going to be very bad. There's going to be a lot of bankruptcies, so we want to sort of stay out of the physical stuff. That's where software and possibly medical is really good. So that's just something to be careful with, very, very careful with. All right, another question, MAGA Homes. Parts and Snaps overview. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Oh man, thank you for telling everyone about my channel. I'm trying to get better, and I'm going to be doing a new website. My little poor website is huffing and puffing, and so I'm going to try to improve my website a little bit. I just got off the phone and with the hosting company, and so maybe it'll work better. Gotta get a secure certificate and everything like that. So hopefully I'm going to be in on and put more out there to everyone. But thank you so much for the love. I do appreciate it. And if you could, please tell people if you could go and over to my YouTube channel, and that's www. Of course, that's where you're watching, and hit that like button. Please hit that like button. That really helps. That really helps me out. Okay, enough for the shameless promotion. All right, let's look at PRTS. Boy, I like this one as well. I like the reason I like Copart and Parts and companies that like this is they tend to do well in recessions. I think, unfortunately, we are due for a little bit of a kind of a tough time, and companies like this do very well. This is a very cheap stock, $16.14. As a matter of fact, this should be on my watch list, and it isn't. I've looked at this one many times, and I think it's really good. PRTS. This is the way people are going to buy used car parts. And look at this. Everything is showing right. We have this beautiful. We have this beautiful 99 relative strength. I'm really liking that. We are just marching right up that 40-day line, liking that. We have a cup formation, liking that. I mean, it's to the point, is what's not to like? The pivot on this one is $14.99, or basically 15. So we're right just slightly above the pivot. Can we buy this thing? Wow, I think we can. I think we can definitely buy this thing. Look at their sales moving up nicely. And we've got the fund ownership. We're still a little bit, we've still got some negative cash flow, but remember, this is I think that, coming into the new year, I think this one might do very, very well. Let's kind of look. Wow, look at all those. Okay, let's look at, wow, 8 out of 9. I am loving that. I am loving that. Let's look at the ownership here. 99% funds. That is great. I think that yes, this is a buy list. Buy list. Now let's see where we can buy this. This is really a ready. You could buy this right now. I think with very, very. You could definitely buy this right now, right away. And I might actually buy this one right. Well, and I think the markets have closed, but I'm going to put this. Yeah, we're 331. So the markets have closed. Unfortunately, I would go in and buy this one. This is a winner chicken dinner. So I'm going to put that on the watch list. That's going on the watch list. Absolutely. Let's look at Snap. That's NAP. And Snap is pulled up today too. 207. Nice. Okay, this is the close on it. Wow, looking very good. Boy, I like this one too. You are a good stock picker. 98 relative strength. I'm liking that. A little, okay. And we have increasing fund ownership. Nice. Let's look at the checklist. No, 8 out of 9. You can't. That's really good. We have 43% funds in it. This one is also excellent. Not quite as good as parts, but it's kind of it's part of the reason I like. And this is just a little editorializing here. Part of the reason I like companies that deal in used auto parts, and especially auto parts in general, is because it is a counter-cyclical industry. If the industry gets bad, these guys get better. So I love parts, and that's a great one. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I actually might be a owner of that one. That is very, very good, and thanks for that, bringing that up, because that's great. Snap is good too, but I think parts is really, really definitely good. Let's look at Beam and Qualcomm. And Qualcomm, is just it's funny, because Qualcomm was a high flyer 20 years ago, and it's a high flyer again. So what is old is new again. It's pulled nicely. It's into a profit-taking zone. So let's look at the daily chart. This doesn't really have a great place to buy it. The last actual cup with handle buy point with pivot was 92.14. It's right off this 10-day line. It's got a 92 relative strength. Loving that. So yeah, this is and it is right above the pivot, and the pivot on the consolidation base at 140.89. Wow. Okay. It's right. You can't buy this one much longer, but QCOM, this is a buy. This is a buy. Absolutely. This is a buy going forward. This is a buy going forward. The checklist is excellent. Yep, 8 out of 9. Fund ownership is good. Yeah, so I would have to go with this QCOM. This is good. I definitely green light to buy this thing, but buy it very quickly, because we're right at the top of the pivot at 147. If it gets too much more beyond this, it's not going to be buyable. But it's buyable now. QCOM is buyable now, but basically at this price, at the 147.50 price. If it goes too much higher than that, it's going to be too far extended. So that's kind of one thing that you might want to look at. Beam. Let's look at Beam. Oops. Beam. BEAM is the symbol. And it's Beam Therapeutics. Wow, it's pulled up too. $1.58 today. You're definitely fishing in the right pond. You're finding some good stuff. This is an IPO. And IPOs typically are harder to buy, but I do like some things about this. 98 relative strength, got a lot of that. You gotta like this kind of breakout. You gotta like that volume. We still haven't really seen what's going to happen with earnings, so we don't really have any earnings, but we have 150 funds in this already. Wow, we're still speculative there. It's negative cash flow, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's let's get an idea on the checklist. 6 out of 9, so that's decent. Ownership is 28% funds. That's very good too. Let's look at the energy. Let's look at the sector. 34 to 197. So that looks very good. The question is, where can you buy it? That's always the question when you get these good stocks, is that, is there a place to buy it? There just really isn't, unfortunately. I hate this when it's like this. The only place you can really buy it is about that 10-day line, and that's at 50, and it's now 60. I think you're going to have to watch those Beam Therapeutics. I hate to tell you this. Let's see if it forms a little bit of a. Let's see if it forms sort of a kind of a consolidation thing here. If it kind of gets stuck here, then we want to kind of wait. We've got to wait for a base pattern on this one. We can't. I can't in good conscience tell you to buy this right now because it just doesn't have the it just doesn't have the oops. It just doesn't have the right setup yet. But other than that, it's very good. I would watch this one, Beam Therapeutics, BEAM. But out of these two, the one that you should definitely think about buying is Qualcomm. It's just set up perfectly. So I really like that. Thank you, Marcin. Thank you very much for that question. Always good questions from you. You are very interesting with your stock picks. So really like that. Really like what you're putting out there. So let's see. I'm going to see if there's anything on TikTok that we can kind of see to see if have you covered NVCR Novocure? Okay, yeah, it's definitely on a run. I was looking at this morning. I didn't buy this one this morning, but it is definitely huge. It is definitely huge. I want to show you everybody this one. Thank you for covering this one. Yeah, this is definitely this is definitely there in terms of something. It's got a it's got a 94. Did I get that? Yeah, we go. 94 relative strength. This was the pivot here. This was the pivot, and the pivot was at 140.89. It's at 147. It's still just barely buyable. On Monday, let's see if this thing pulls back. You may be able to buy this one on Monday. You may be able to buy this one Monday. I wouldn't buy it any higher than this at 147.50. It's just almost too extended, but other than that, it looks really good. The checklist is excellent, 8 out of 9. The ownership is good, 66%. Typically, anything that's owned 65% or better by funds, that is a very good sign. That is a very good sign. The advantage of having a lot of funds own something is that they tend to be more long-term players. They tend to be more what they call strong hands, and so it typically gives you a nice floor on that. So I'm liking everything about this that I'm seeing, of course. And I was looking at this one this morning. I almost bought this one this morning. I didn't. I didn't buy it. I'm going to set an alert on this one. Basically, at this price, 147, and I'm going to put 55 just to see what happens. To see if it's buyable at that point. I just want to see if it is indeed viable at that point. Excellent stock. This is viable. You definitely don't want to buy it above 140.50 though. But I think if you wait till Monday, then you might be able to buy this one. Very good stock. Probably going higher. Another great suggestion. One of my favorite ones here, DraftKings. DKNG. I haven't. I've been looking for the right time to buy this one. I want to buy this one. It's pulling back. I typically don't like to buy anything when it's pulling back. I like to wait until it's kind of rebounded. It's getting close. Now I'm going to show you the weekly chart on this one, and the weekly chart shows we still have this nice. We still have very, very nice. Oops, there we go. We still have a good trend. We're moving higher on the trend. We haven't broken trend. We've moved through the pivot. The pivot on this one on a consolidation base. It's a third stage consolidation. It's 44.70. We're at 49.25. So I want to see this pull it back a little bit more possibly, and then possibly it's going higher. This has kind of a weird cup with handle. It's not really. This is not really a consolidation base. This is just kind of a weird cup with handle. It's cup, and then it handled, and then boom, it moved up. So I want to see this one get ready. This one should be watch listed. DKNS. and that possibly is for the watch list. I do like DraftKings. It's got 6 out of 9 on the smell test. It's got Fidelity Contra Fund in here. This is the good housekeeping seal of approval in terms of the funds. And we have a 30 out of 197 in terms of the industry ranking. That is very good. So DraftKings, I'm liking that. I'm liking all of those very, very much. Wow, I have some very good ones for the ready list potentially today, and I may put this out for everyone because I for the weekend I'm probably going to do a action trade alert. Now, how to get on the action trade alerts? I can, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to review about 5 of these stocks in detail. One of the ways that you can, I will send out probably an action trade alert this weekend or possibly on Monday on buy points for basically DKNS, NVCR, that's Novocure, Parts, PRTS, Snap, Qualcomm, and Alarm. I think they're all worthwhile stocks that we've covered today. So hopefully we'll get that out there. But you have to be on the list for me to be able to send it to you. Super easy to do. Just go to youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. Subscribe there, but also, if you could, you have to go to the website in order to get in order to get the let's see in order to get subscribe like I said YouTube in order to get the in order to get the trade alerts, you've got to go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and that will give you the that will give you the that will give you the sign up for the trade alerts. Let me see if I can pull that up here. And by the way, I'm going to be improving this website. I hopefully we'll have a better, we'll have a better. I can't go to it because I don't have a secure certificate. But it's www.Dallas Trading Floor. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, here's the address on the screen. www.Dallas Trading Floor, and to subscribe to the action trade alerts, and it'll be for those several ones that are on the watch list. I'm going to do some a more detailed analysis. Let's look at Crispr. This is an excellent company too. I don't know if you ever have dealt with looked into Craig Vitter, but he is the first man to sequence the human genome. And CRISPR Technologies is basically an offshoot of that. It's very, very interesting. And this is a Swiss company. And of course, what they can do is with the CRISPR, basically with the CRISPR gene editing protocol, they can actually create designer genes, and well, not just designer genes, it's designer drugs. So it's extremely exciting technology, in my opinion. We have a very nice uptick. Today, we're up $25.99 at 147. Wow, this is incredible. Look at this. I don't even know if this is viable, but this should be definitely on people's radar screen. Something must have happened today. I just don't know what it was. It is just taking off to the moon. Look at that. Wow. Thank you for this. Okay, 6 out of 9. Excellent. There must be somebody big in this 53% funds. Lord Abbott's in it. Wow. Federated. Yeah, all the biggies are in here. Yeah, you might want some. Unfortunately, this is not a good place to buy it. I hate it when it's like this. When it takes off, it's like these are hard to buy. Let's see if this thing pulls back a little bit on Monday. Boy, I'm going to put this on my watch list. Absolutely. CRISPR at CSPR, and I've had this. I've owned this one. I've sold it. I've owned it and I've sold it. It looks like now it's starting to make its run. This could be monumental. Wow, I'm gonna have to analyze this one over the weekend, but I appreciate that very much. That's a good stock. Again, boy, some people out there are really coming up with some very, very nice stuff. Let's take one look at one more. We're right in an hour, so I'm kind of running out of time, unfortunately. But I'll be back on Monday. And again, if you're on the action trade alerts by today, I'm probably not going to send it out to them tomorrow. I'm going to do an analysis on several of these stocks and send them out as an action trade alert with buy points and that kind of thing. But let's look at Tesla. And of course, as everybody knows, I am a Tesla bull. What's happening? Well, it is getting ready to run. Run with the bulls, as they say. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart first. I want to show you this. This is the weekly chart. So we have made this level here at about the $600 level. This is important because I do believe that we're basically right here and right at the $600 level. And this $600 level is, if we can go beyond this, we then have another run. I do believe that we are just on the pivot here. My thing is, I want to see this go up to about 603 or so before I'm going to buy. I'm going to set an alert on this one. I'm going to set another alert. I'm going to set a new alert, and I'm going to set it at. Let's see if I can set it. Hold on. Goodness gracious. Right. No, it's not. It's not letting me set the alert. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I want to set the alert at 602. I want to set that. I want to set that alert at 602. Why is that so important? Well, because I do believe if we close above 602 on this, we're going higher on Tesla. If you can believe it. So, get ready with one position, maybe two positions, to go into Tesla. On Monday if it crosses above that critical 603 level. And with that, I will be signing off today. I didn't get to everybody's question. I'm so sorry. I was a little bit late today, but thank you everyone for stopping by. It's always fun to do this show. And if you sign up for the trade alerts, the action trade alerts, and thank you, Arnold, for that so much. If you sign up for the action trade alerts and you're on the list by tonight, I should be able to get out the action trade alerts. And I'm going to do analysis on Crispr, DraftKings, Novocure, Parts, Snap, Qualcomm, and Alarm, because I think all of these names are worthy of taking a look at. They're all getting ready to go. So very, very exciting. Thanks again to everybody, and I hope to see you on Monday. Have a safe weekend. And have a safe weekend. I'll see you at 2:30, hopefully, on Monday. Again, thanks again for stopping by.